Hi everyone, and welcome to the Woohoo Weekend for August 2022. I am going to be showing you the Splendid Thoughts bundle, which is part of the Splendid Day suite. And it comes with this really great gorgeous paper that it's metallic on one side and matte prints on the other, and this wonderful soft sea foam seam binding ribbon. So let me show you what I'm going to be making for you today. So I made this. I used a template that I got, a layout template that I got online. And it uses the Splendid Thoughts stamp set and the Splendid Stems dies. These are such wonderful dies. It cuts out the various pieces, and then it has these extra kind of thin line pieces that you can die cut and put on your card. I'm also going to be using the layering circles dies. So let me put this over here so you can kind of still see this as I'm working. And again, I am Joy Nelson, Stamp with Joy, and I am from the Denver, Colorado area. So we are going to start with a card base of the thick basic white, and it is 4¼ inches by 11 inches. But if you are doing metric, it would be 10½ centimeters by 29.7 centimeters, and then you score it in half. With imperial, it's 5½ inches for the score line, and with metric, it is 14.9 centimeters. So we have that as our card base, but then we have our first layer. I am going to be using one of the items that you can now get in Celebration. They've added a few items to our Celebration offering. And so now you can get a few additional items that are items in the annual catalog, but you have special numbers on the flyer. So please be sure to talk to the demonstrator that invited you to find out what those numbers are so that you can get those as free items in addition to the original ones that are still available. So with our first layer, I am going to be using the Timber 3D embossing folder, which, as I was just talking, is one of the additional free items as a level 1 with a qualifying order. And I am using a soft seafoam piece of cardstock. I've already embossed it with this great folder. I hope that you can see all of that wonderful detail. It looks just like wood grain. And so the first layer is going to be 4 inches by 5¼ inches, or 10 centimeters by 14.4 centimeters. Let's start with this and then start building our pieces. I like to work from the background to the foreground. So we have designer series paper pieces that are 1 inch by 4½ inches, or 2.5 centimeters by 12.5 centimeters. And I have cut 4 of these strips. Now I have used the foil side and the matte printed side for my project. So as you can see, I have some foil and some not foil. I think this gives this project a lot of interest and changes the texture up a little bit. And then I have backed those designer series paper pieces with pieces of the fresh freesia. And again, I need 4 of those. And they are 1¼ inches by 4¾ inches, or 3 centimeters by 13 centimeters. So let's go ahead and let's attach these to the backing so that they are matted. And I'm going to go ahead and get some of my snail going here to attach that. So make sure you've got an even border all the way around. And we're going to do that for all 4 pieces. Now that we have our designer series paper pieces matted with a layer of the fresh freesia, we can go ahead and attach these pieces to our first layer of the soft seafoam that has been textured with the 3D, the Timber 3D embossing folder. I'm going to put them on and put them kind of at little angles overlapping. There, now we have our background all ready to go, and it is time to put our ribbon on. I've gone ahead and tied this with my favorite faux bow, and if you want to see how to tie this, please refer to my technique tip video that will be included in this Woohoo weekend. So let's attach this on the back with some seal. So there we have that ready to go. And I think it's time to go ahead and attach that onto my card base. Now we can set this aside and start working on our focal image and greeting. I have used a piece of scratch paper to die cut a circle out of the Layering Circles dies. And I have this very cute Sending Hugs stamp set and the Fresh Freesia ink pad. There we go. That looks nice. Sometimes my first stamping doesn't always work that well, but this time I think it did great. I have also taken a piece of the soft seafoam and used the Layering Circles, the scallop circle this time. Now let's attach these 2 pieces together. I think it's had enough drying time. And this just creates a tiny little scalloped border around the circle. So now we have that one ready to go. And let's go ahead and stamp one of these images. This is part of the leaves from the Splendid Thoughts stamp set. And we want to use the soft seafoam ink pad. And I'm going to bring in 2 Stampin' Blends markers. They are the dark soft seafoam and the light soft seafoam. I'm going to start with the light soft seafoam and the brush tip, and go ahead and just kind of fill in here. And then for the shading parts, I'm using the bullet tip of the dark soft seafoam. And just doing these areas that are already marked on the stamped image. So it couldn't be easier. You don't have to worry about where the shading should go or anything. Now, because it would be really boring to watch me color all of this, I've gone ahead and colored one and die cut the image out with the dies that come in this bundle. I have also taken some scrap paper that I have backed with the adhesive sheets. So if you're going to use adhesive sheets, which are really awesome, by the way, you want to go ahead and put that on your paper before you die cut the image. So I have one of this image and one of this image, and then one of this image done in the soft seafoam. So I have two in the basic white and then one in the soft seafoam. And I put it on my hand so that you could hopefully see that just a little bit better. So we have these pieces and we have this piece here. Now first I want to attach this piece to the back of this just a little bit. So I'm going to use just a little bit, just a really thin bead of the liquid glue, the mono liquid glue. And I'm going to do it to where this leaf just kind of overlaps on here a little bit. And then I want to take some dimensionals. I have my mini dimensionals handy here. As you can see, I like a lot of dimensionals because I don't like saggy parts. But so there we have that, and we have our pieces that have already been backed with the adhesive sheet. So we'll start with these first, and our background of my card all ready to go. So let's start with this one. Go ahead and see if we can get this off. Let's see, sometimes it takes a little bit. Oh, there we go. It's coming right off. So it already has adhesive on it. So you don't have to worry about trying to get glue in that tiny little strip. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on. No two cards ever come out 100% exactly the same. I don't know if you've noticed that in your crafting. That seems to be the way it is with mine. So now we have this one ready to go. We're just going to slip this kind of in here and leave that up a minute because I think I want this one underneath that one. So we're going to peel the backing off of this soft seafoam delicate die here. So there we go. Let's press all of those down. And now we can bring in this piece. And attach this onto our card. Now let's put a little something on the inside. So I have some little just strips of leftover designer series paper and soft seafoam. And this one is 1/4 inch by 4 1/4 inches, or 1/2 centimeter by 10.5 centimeters. And then the soft seafoam piece is 1/2 inches wide by 4 1/4 inches, or 1 centimeter by 10.5 centimeters. So let's just attach these two together where there's just a little border on each side. Let's move this up into the camera. And that one is just a little bit long. So we're going to take our paper snips, trim that, and then we're going to attach this to the inside of our card. And I made this as a tent fold where the fold is at the top. And we're just going to attach this at the bottom here. And again, we have just a little bit here, just a hair to cut off. So now we have some interest on the inside as well as the outside, and I did leave it blank so that I can write a very personal note to whoever I send the Sending Hugs card to. Now, most projects would not be complete without some bling, so let's bring in some rhinestone basic jewels and our Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to add some of those. So again, like a lot of demonstrators have been showing you, sometimes it's really fun to stamp your envelopes. So let's go ahead and stamp this envelope with this same foliage piece and the soft seafoam ink. Just a little bit on the flap and then another one on the front so that this card has a very special envelope to go with this special card. So there you have it. We have our Designer Series paperback card from our Splendid Day suite of products. It's the Splendid Thoughts bundle, and then the soft seafoam seam binding ribbon, and the Splendid Day Designer Series paper. If you liked any of these products that I have shown you, please be sure to order from the demonstrator who invited you to this group. And if you order these products, that should qualify you for a free celebration item, and you just might want to use the Timber 3D embossing folder as your free item. Until next time, have a great woohoo weekend. Bye.